The NBA has fined the Brooklyn Nets $50,000 on Monday for letting Kyrie Irving into their locker room during a game in which he was unable to play because he is not vaccinated against COVID-19. Irving was a spectator at Barclays Center on Sunday, sitting across the Nets bench for Brooklyn's 110-107 win over the Knicks. There is no longer a mandate for fans to be vaccinated in order to enter the arena, but there is still one requiring someone who works for the team to have been vaccinated. We now welcome in ESPN NBA senior reporter Brian Windhorst. Brian, thank you for joining us. Good morning, brother. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Yeah. So don't look now. The Nets are on a 3-game winning streak. KD is turned up. He's playing like the Slim Reaper that he is.
Easy money sniper.
I know, right? What a performance we saw from him earlier this week. But they're still missing a key piece that they got from that trade, and that is Ben Simmons. What is the latest update on Ben with his injury?
Well, he's starting to do some activities, ramping up, but he's still not joining in 5-on-5 activity, at least as of yesterday. And he is going to need probably 3 or 4 workouts with the team in 5-on-5 settings before he's cleared to play. It's another way of saying he's at least a week away, if not longer. They're really hoping maybe by the end of the month, depending on how he recovers from these workouts. You know, this back injury is something you can have a bad day and you can get set back. So the hope is Ben Simmons can play with Kyrie Irving once or twice maybe before the end of the season, the regular season. And guys, Kyrie could only play in 4 more games. So this is really threading the eye of a needle like we've almost never seen before at this kind of level.
Well, Golden State did welcome back one of their big 3 elements, Draymond Green, yesterday. His first game since January 9th goes for 6, 7, and 6, team best, plus 24 in 20 minutes. Brian, the gold standard at Golden State, it's championship or bust for this team. What is the sentiment in San Francisco and around the league that Draymond Green is the missing piece to get the Dubs past the Suns and whoever might come out of the East?
Well, you guys have just hit on the 2 biggest storylines for me in the entire postseason. What Kyrie Irving's availability is going to be with Ben Simmons and Draymond Green's health. This is obviously another back injury. And when Draymond Green is able to be active and healthy, the Warriors are a completely different team, as you saw just in his 20-minute shift last night. The belief is that Draymond will be able to ramp up. He's only going to come off the bench for a couple of games this week, and then will rejoin the starting lineup. The Warriors have just changed their starting lineup, going back to the 3-guard front that they played with early in the season with Draymond, where they were so devastatingly effective. And James Wiseman could make his season debut as early as tomorrow, and that will be a big addition to this team potentially as well. So if everything goes well with Draymond, watch for the Warriors to ramp back up here very quickly.
Well, one thing we've seen ramp up a lot this year is the scoring in the NBA. I mean, guys are getting buckets, and we see decimal points at the top of the leaderboard in terms of the scoring leader with Giannis, Joel Embiid, and LeBron James right next to each other to take this year's scoring title. It seems like this might come down to the final day of the season. So when the dust settles, who do you see being the leader for scoring title in the NBA?
Well, since it's probably the only thing LeBron's really playing for at this point, I would probably have to go with LeBron. I mean, last night's a good example. They are playing on the second night of a back-to-back in a game that was pretty much over after the first quarter. And LeBron had a sore knee and was questionable, yet still played 40 minutes in this game, was still out there getting buckets in the fourth quarter when it was a double-digit game. Now, obviously, the Lakers, to have any hope to do anything this year, need LeBron scoring. This is not just a naked chase for the scoring title. But if there's one thing LeBron's still motivated by right now, it's to get that spot. And he's within a few games of passing Karl Malone for number 2 all-time in scoring, which, frankly, is one of the great chases in NBA history in terms of records. I know it's not a title, but it's meaningful to him. So I think LeBron is going to do it. And I'll tell you one thing. He scored 30 points last night and lost ground in the race because Embiid put up 33 in that tough game that they had against Denver.
Oh, Brian, you mentioned LeBron. Since the All-Star break, the Lakers are 0-8 when he doesn't score 50 points.
Crazy.
Outlook is bleak. You said before the show that Scooby and I look very comfortable on our set. LA does not look comfortable in the standings. They're going the wrong way. Number one strength of schedule. The one glimmer of hope is that Anthony Davis is, inching his way back toward a return. Brian, what is the level of confidence that with AD back in the fold and sharing some of the burdened load that LA can at least level off before a potential play-in series rather than continuing their downward slide out to the 11 seed?
I would say there's no level of confidence. They are 9-22 on the road right now. And they are very close to being in the 10th seed, which would mean to have to win 2 road games to even get into the playoffs. And then, guys, the team they would play if they're battling in 9 or 10 would be the Suns. And what the Suns just did to them the other night, 2 nights ago in Phoenix, even without Chris Paul, should eliminate any dream you have about a Lakers run. But okay, we'll play it out.
48 in the first quarter, the Suns scored in that game.
Ridiculous.
Windy, thanks so much, man. All the best. We'll talk to you again before the playoffs come around.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.